This is your host Satul Bhartia and welcome to Let's Talk. My next guest is Akram Hassan, VP of Product at Netlify. Tell us a bit about yourself and why you joined Netlify.
I've been in the platform world for over 15 years. I started with Microsoft, worked there in Windows Azure, was one of the early product managers actually to work on the platform, have a love and passion for platforms, and transitioned to Dell EMC after, worked on data storage, and also worked at Uber on some of their internal platforms, specifically the communication and automation platforms that they have there. And Netlify is at a very unique position. When I looked at them as a company, they're one of the few companies that are redefining how you're actually gonna move your web properties to the CDN. And they actually started saying, there's a new way for you as a developer to be more productive. And not a lot of companies are doing that today. If you look at it, they are redefining, first of all, the web stack, how it should look like from a presentation layer, from pre-rendering. And the second thing, they're actually allowing you to move in a very productive fashion as a developer. You can basically move your code from your laptop to the CDN in just minutes. And when I tried it out, to be honest with you, the first thing I tried it out, I loved it. I fell in love with that platform. I knew exactly what it is about, and I knew exactly how they could be successful. And in that sense, once I've seen that platform, what it can do, I just started talking to Matt and Chris and the founders, and we just had a great connection, and that's how I'm here today.
If you look at Netlify, or if you look at Jamstack and other technologies that you folks are building there, a lot of problems are there which are new. A lot of problems have been solved in different ways, right? We try to just make it a bit better. So when I look at Netlify, and we also look at the kind of cloud or web-centric world that we live in, where almost every company has to have an online presence, they have to have a cloud, strategy. What role is Netlify in the world so that you are enabling business owners, irrespective of whether they are developers or not, so that they can get started with a business or whatever is their job?
It is all about productivity. If you think about it, Netlify is redefining for you as a business owner, how fast can you get to the market? And if you can really get a website today, just think about it. If you want to get a website up and running, there's a lot of frameworks that you can use. And there's a lot of code generators that you have to figure out. And there's a lot of build tools. And not only that, you have to figure out the CDN, you have to figure out caching, you have to figure out how to configure all that. It takes time, and its complexity during all that development process can cause you issues. But if you can simplify the whole process, and with one click, which is deployed to Netlify, then that's what the business owner really gains, is the time to market, the ability to get there fast, quick, and more efficient. And that's one of the key things, the value props that really Netlify is all about.
Now, Netlify recently announced, quite a lot of, announcements related to enterprise. You have a new enterprise grid plan. Tell us a bit more about these plans and these announcements.
Yeah, so Netlify does very well. When you have a single developer developing really a web stack, we really do very well. We have a lot of developers, single account, and they can really manage a whole stack by themselves. But when you come to the enterprise, there's a team of people working on it. Not just a team, there are multiple teams. And from that stems, multiple, I would say, needs to the enterprise. The first need is, I want to see every team in my organization, and I want to basically quantify their usage. So the way we actually are thinking about this, we ship this multi-team management. You can see every team separately. You can actually see their usage and map their usage. And not only that, you can actually have automated invoicing for all of these teams. Previously, you used to have, separate invoices. You used to have to deal with all these invoicing separately. But now you can actually start understanding the usage of your team and actually charge them in the right way. That's the first step towards really becoming on the enterprise side. The second thing is logging and measurement. Most of the enterprise customers have their own tooling. They have their own ecosystem for monitoring. Let me give you an example. Some customers have Datalog. It's one of the key partners that we just announced in the last launch, which is basically can start integrating your monitoring tools that you are familiar with Netlify, and doing really a drain of logs and be able to see traffic logs, function logs, and others, and be able to manage that within your environment. So those are some of the enterprise capabilities that we shipped, and we really want to gear that ecosystem towards the enterprise at some point.
Excellent. What else is there in addition to helping teams?
There are also integrations we did with what we call collaborative deploy previews. If you're doing collaborative deploy previews, just take a step back. What is it about? If you're today doing a website, the first thing you do is you want to have some sort of a preview of the website that you can send to disciplines like, hey, I have a marketing person I'm working with. I have a UI designer that I want them to give feedback, or any other discipline within the organization. Imagine if I can give you a way, not just to use a link, but can give feedback right there and have all your feedback in a single spot. So initially we started with GitHub integration. All the feedback are within GitHub issues, screenshots, but now we found that people actually are using different tools. Let's say Jira, for example. And we shipped Jira integration recently with this collaborative deploy preview integration. So now you can have Jira integration also as well, or all your issues and all the feedback that you get from all these disciplines within one spot in Jira as well.
One thing that I always, I'm curious about whenever we talk about these new features, I want to understand the direct impact on the end user, or in this case would be developer. Can you know that how their life changes after these features, how you make it easier for them?
Yeah, so previously, when you do these previews, what happens? You go to Slack, you go to email, and your feedback is all over the place. So you as a developer, you're trying to figure, okay, I got that feedback, I'm gonna go open an issue, or I'm gonna actually go track it somewhere. And the time used to just track all this information is definitely lost after a period of time. You don't know, okay, what happened in that history. Imagine all that becomes just in a single place, recorded. It's already, you don't have to open any issues, it's already open for you. And it makes the developer life way easier to get that feedback. So it changes the dynamics of how you get feedback on a website that's developed. And I think that's gonna be one of the key things that not just the enterprise, any customer using Netlify today can use that feature. It's available to every customer. But it's the beauty of being able to get that feedback real time and be able to have it in a single place to look at it for history too as well.
Right. One thing more I want to talk more about is the integration with Datalog, because you can build a great service, a great website, but things will go wrong. So observability is really critical. You need to know what's going on there. So can you just go a bit deeper into the work that you are doing there? And once again, what kind of things you're exposing to developers so they can look at the log, and how far you go. You just show them that something is happening, or what about understandability and actionability also based on those metrics?
So this is the I would say the start of the journey. We still have way more to come, hopefully in the future. But the start of the journey is meet basically customers where they are. We are not trying to develop a monitoring platform. We're trying to actually ensure that the monitoring and data is going back to the customer, especially for enterprise. They want to be able to drain these logs into Datalog. And Datalog is an amazing platform that you can actually go and slice and dice data and actually be able to do alerting, notification, all that on top. What we provide is a way for you to get traffic logs, for example. And then based on this traffic log, you can trigger certain notification, or function logs if you're using serverless functions. And these serverless function, you can actually download the logs and basically act on it too as well. So with that in mind, it gives you that ability to use your tools and notification that you're already familiar with. Especially DevOps folks that are familiar with these tools will appreciate a lot us integrating with these third-party platforms.
So Akram, you recently joined the company. We have been covering Netlify for a very long time, since almost its inception. If I ask you, what do you see the company, because you also saw something in the company that you joined, what are the achievements that you saw that Netlify has, in these past years? And then we can quickly also talk about what roadmap do you have. So let's start with achievements and then future plans.
So we've had a few things that are coming through. The first thing is we're also offering Netlify on AWS Marketplace. So that means if you're a customer of AWS and you have credits already that you want to utilize, you can utilize these credits towards Netlify. That's one of the most important things that we think will help customers also make that transition when needed, is be able to use AWS credits to actually offer Netlify services. Our roadmap is definitely coming through to provide customers with more and more functionality towards how can we make their apps faster, how can we make sure that they are more secure, and how can we make sure that we actually provide more developer productivity, or developer productivity is going to be a key thing definitely in our themes next few years. So all of that is coming through, and these are main things that we are thinking about as we speak.
Akram, thank you so much for taking time out today and talk about, of course, these new announcements, and of course, share the kind of a brief, not too much in detail, but just a glimpse of the roadmap as well. But I would love to have you back on the show. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, and thank you for having me here.